into this. This week, the name on the marquee has got to be Yadong Song, who this past weekend at UFC Fight Night, Song versus Simone, at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas, defeated Ricky Simone in a bantamweight clash by TKO in round number 5, the official time 1:10 of round 5. Mark, start us off here. Give us your take of this back and forth battle of bantamweights between Song and Simone, with Song being victorious.
What a huge performance for Song Yadong, or Yadong Song, however we're saying it these days. From jump in this fight, I felt like he was like a robot. Like, he just came out, taking little steps forward, hands up, cocked, waiting to throw, and didn't consider moving his feet for a single thing that Simone did. Like, he didn't bite on a single feint. Anything he blocked was just his hands and his arms. He never stepped off one time. He easily evaded a takedown. Like, he didn't bite on anything. And he may not even have won round 1, but from jump, I think Simone could see that his usual kind of activity that keeps guys on their toes, or kind of knocks them off their toes in a way, was not relevant to Song. And then round 2, Simone gets rocked by a clash of heads, but he pushes through it, and he actually gets a takedown, and you're like, all right, he's on top now. Here we go. Let's see what happens. And Song is up immediately. And I feel like that's when it kind of really started going downhill for Simone, because already it was like he was having trouble getting Song to do anything he wanted him to do. Then there, he's like, shit, I'm rocked, but like, all right, I'm on top. And then he's like, oh, fuck, I'm right back. And he's walking at me again, and I still can't figure out how to make him stop walking at me. And I feel like he just kind of got discouraged at that point. Song started landing more. He was opening up. He got his timing down more. And we don't think about this enough, but sometimes I feel like fights just come down to something as simple as which guy will have to fight the fight going backwards, and can he do that? And Simone had to, and he isn't used to doing it, and he couldn't make his game work as a result of it. And eventually Song just reaped the rewards for his efforts. He landed a huge left at the end of round 4 that fucking froze Simone. I think he was probably done if it wasn't for the bell in that round, and it didn't matter because he comes out round 5, lands another left, almost the same exact shot, puts Simone down for the stoppage, and a monster win for Song Yadong.
Omar, what was your take of the finish and the fight overall and performance overall from Yadong Song?
I mean, it doesn't get better than that. I'm pretty sure Song Yadong knocked him down 4 times. I feel like it was once a round going from the second round through the remainder of that fight. Watching the fight, and listening to Mark's take, I don't want to take anything away from Song Yadong because it probably had a lot to do with the way he approached the fight and the way he fought that fight. But Ricky Simone did not fight the way I've seen Ricky Simone fight. And I wonder if it was more than just Song Yadong, if there were other outside factors at play that maybe we don't know about, maybe we'll never know about. But he didn't look the same. Either way, his inability to adjust in that fight was still something that now plays into him and his, our picks. I feel like going forward, I think that's something that's going to play value going forward, because we've seen, like Mark said, once he had to move backwards, he didn't really seem to have an answer, whether that would have been try to push forward even more or whatever his response was. The one that he chose was the wrong one. And it cost him a good portion of that fight. And I'm pretty sure those left hands that were landing and knocking him down from time to time, especially as the fight goes on, those knockdowns don't get easier to get up from. And I think by the end of it, man, I think Song Yadong just had put in so much work by the beginning of that 5th round, that Ricky Simone, this is probably the first time that we've really seen Ricky Simone really lose a fight. You know what I mean? Like the what was I going to say? The Marab one, very contentious, very close. A lot of people want to go back and forth about whether he finished the fight, whether it was a decision, like whatever. This one, I feel like no one can really say other than Song did work, and Ricky Simone took a big L.
Mark, with this win, Song Yadong now emphatically back in the win column after getting stopped himself by Corey Sandhagen back in September. He turns the rising Ricky Simón away. What do you do with him next if you are the matchmaker for the UFC?
I don't know, but I ate popcorn and it's all up in my teeth. I'm not happy about it.
Dude, I love popcorn.
Same.
So you said for Simón, right?
Let's do his song first.
Oh, I'm sorry, song. I thought you said Simón. So I said this one back when Cheeto lost his last fight. I'm going to stick to it now. I said then that I think it would have been the perfect time to do a song rematch if he was the winner of this fight, or Simón if he ended up winning. But I'm still with it. The first fight was very controversial between the two of them. Both of them have greatly elevated their stock and their overall game since then. I think Song has earned a shot to kind of move up the ranks off of a performance like that. He even suggested it that he was down to run it back with Cheeto, so let's run it back. Let's settle it in a fight night main event or part of a pay-per-view main card or something like that.
Okay, Omar, any other ideas for Yadong Song?
I'd be down. I'd be down for that. I'd be down to see Cheeto win. I'm down for that. You already know, baby.
Very good.
So casual. Yeah, I'd see Cheeto win, yeah.
Okay. With this loss snaps a 5-fight win streak for Ricky Simón. Omar, what do you see next for him at bantamweight?
I think realistically, you can't really move him down all too much. I think he might have to get moved down maybe just a spot or two just based on the performance. And I feel like the dominance that was the performance from Song Yadong. But Song Yadong was already on top of him. It was really Simón's opportunity to kind of jump and rise up a little bit from this win, but that doesn't happen. So where do you go with him? Maybe does this motherfucker have a fight? My man Yanez? I feel like we just booked him for something, didn't we?
He doesn't have a fight, but we were
He just
saying
lost.
last week that he should fight Munoz.
Right. Maybe we give him Ricky Simón.
Not bad either.
Yeah. Okay, Mark, what do you think? What's next for Simón?
I'm in a similar boat. I don't want to move Simón. I mean, his rank isn't going to change much, but I mean, even in who his type of opponent is, I don't want to move him down too much. He really had a great run to this point, and he seemingly just had an off night. I'd like to see him fight another ranked fighter. So I'm going to say, how about Jonathan Martinez? Let those two duke it out and see who really should be ranked.
Like it.
Definitely down for that.
Okay, let's
Honestly,
move on.
Dude, if Umar Nurmagomedov didn't deserve a little bit higher than Ricky Simón stylistically, that's a fucking banger right there. That's an absolute banger of a fight.
Actually, that's who I said Munoz should fight. So who the fuck did I match Yanez with? I can't even remember now. Because I said Munoz should fight Umar. Yeah, I don't know.
These picks go all over the place sometimes.
Yeah, they do. They do.
Okay. Let us move on now. Congrats to Song Yadong.
Oh, Gutierrez is who I said Yanez should fight. The loser. That's where I confused myself. Anyway, sorry.
By the way, this is how mixed martial arts just makes me a more cultured person. It's such a global sport. It just like re-emphasizes that, like, yes, in many Asian cultures, the surname or the family name goes first. Song is what we would consider his last name, but is his surname.
The problem is,
I
is
prefer
that as Americans, we keep fucking changing the order. Just
Right.
Yes.
use the order that they give us, and we
Agreed.
understand that this is the surname, the family name, and this is the
given
But when
name.
they keep changing
Totally
it, then I don't know what the fuck is what
Like,
anymore.
his name is Song Yadong. Just because Song is the family name doesn't mean we need to call him Yadong Song. It doesn't make
exactly.
any sense.
It
But then
does
if-
at all.
But for me, okay, that's interesting. For me, I prefer to go with Yadong Song because if it's Song Yadong, then I start unconsciously treating Yadong as his last name, and then I also have a 12-year-old mind, so I can't. I want to avoid saying things like "I love Yadong." I just have to avoid it. You know, Yadong is so powerful. I just can't say it. I don't want to say it.
Yeah. It's
If
a
it's
tough one.
true.
It's a tough example.
Okay. Okay. Later on tonight, we're going to talk about Yan Xiaonan or Xiaonan Yan. Yan is the surname.
Yep.
Did I ever share with you guys that stat about surnames in the U.S. versus surnames in China?
Yeah, how there's like a zillion more.
Yes. That must have
Yeah.
been at some point. a year
You
ago.
You did.
For anybody who's joining us more as a new listener, it's this fact I once knew. It's something like in the United States there are like over 25,000 unique last names or surnames. In China, which is like what, 4 times the size of our country, there's like 250 unique surnames. It's stupid.
Their alphabet too is also like fucking 5 times larger than ours. See too. So
How funny.
there's a lot more things to choose from and put together there.
Okay, let's move on. Co-main event for this UFC fight night in the middleweight division, Caio Borralho defeated Michal Oleksiejczuk by submission via rear naked choke. The official time coming 2:49 of round number 2. Omar, start us off this time. Give us your take of Caio, just still shining and still undefeated in the UFC.
I feel like I got this one on the nose. I feel like I said second round submission for Caio.
I think you did.
I was happy to see that. It's one of those moments where you see him on the ground in the second round. I'm like, oh shit, I think I got the pick. And it worked out, man. I thought the first round was kind of competitive, and Caio kind of had me a little like concerned for a minute. I was like, this is not going as one way as I thought it was going to go. But once we got to the second round, Caio implemented his ground game and was able to keep Oleksiejczuk on the ground and work for a rear naked choke, and it was great.
Yeah, man. Marg, let's bring you in here. What was your reaction to Borralho getting it done and looking impressive yet again?
Dude, Oleksiejczuk came out throwing them hands. Like, I love his hands. I really do. He changes up the timing so much. He, like, switches speeds. He throws them from, like, half-contracted spots. Like, his shot will be out, and he'll bring his hand only back, like, this far, and then he fires it again. Like, he does a lot of crafty shit. He's just a tricky guy with his boxing. And he was tricky early for Borralho. He was landing, he was half landing, I would say, on like a lot of big shots. Were kind of touching Borralho. He was ripping the body, but Caio was eating him, and he was moving well. At the same time, he couldn't take Michal down for most of that round until very late. He was kicking the leg, but like it was a difficult first round for him. And then in the end, it just flipped into being what we thought, which is that Caio was comfortable enough on the feet to survive what was coming at him and to make the grappling advantage come into play. And he did. He shot a beautiful double in round 2 that ultimately led to him ending up in mount. Landed a huge elbow immediately, which I feel like is when everything changed. Michal kind of stopped defending nearly as well. He tied up his right wrist, moved to the back, found the choke. It was academic at that point, and really everything you could ask from Borralho at this point to show how he is progressing here through the ranks.
Yeah, man. So good. This guy is excellent at middleweight. Omar, Borralho's win streak continues. He is now... Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you said fuck. I thought there was technical difficulties.
No, I'm good.
Borralho's win streak continues, now 11-0 now 11 in a row as a pro and 4-0 in the UFC. He's cruising at middleweight right now. What do you see as next for him at 185 pounds?
I want to give him somebody above. And I think there's a fight that just got announced, if I'm not mistaken, that I feel like the loser would probably be worth fighting. I feel like Brendan Allen just got a goddamn fight, didn't he?
Yeah, he just got Bruno Silva as his new booking since Hermanson fell out.
Maybe the loser of that Brendan Allen-Bruno Silva fight might be worth looking into.
I hate that that's who Brendan Allen got, man. I was so pumped to see him have a chance to break through against Jack, and now he gets fucking Bruno Silva. Yeah, he asked for Derek Brunson after the fight. I kind of doubt that Derek Brunson takes that fight at this point, if he even is still fighting, though I'm not opposed to it. But if not that, maybe a little more realistic is we do a Grappler's Delight of Caio and Andre Muniz. See who comes out on top there.
Oh, my God.
Maybe Borralho is the real deal that Muniz we thought was and seemingly is not these days.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be so fun.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with the loser here. Michal Oleksiejczuk now 18-6 as a pro. Back in the loss column after back-to-back wins. Now 6-4 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Mark, what do you see as next for Oleksiejczuk at 185 pounds?
He shows signs, man. He's a fun fighter. He's just not complete enough. But I'm going to throw him a striker after having to fight the grappler that is Borralho. I will say another man that Borralho beat in Armin Petrosian. I think those two would make for a fun test for each other.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Omar, any other bright ideas?
I'm not sure where Oleksiejczuk lands in the ranking, so I'm not sure if it would be worth the squeeze. But I would love to see the winner of Gregory Rodriguez versus Dennis Tululin pick up that fight.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair.
Okay. All right. Let us now throw the rest of these fights from UFC Fight Night, Song versus Simone, into our lightning round. So if you're just joining us
The hands dialed up.
for the first time, our lightning round is our not a game show where I ask Mark and Omar to give me their quickest, most lightning takes of these fight recaps. So here we go.
I need this fucking card up. Hold on a second. Normally we have a document, a shared document that we work from.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, life got in the way, and we do not have a shared document. So I need
Sorry.
It's okay.
to pull this up here.
Some people have kids, Omar.
I understand. I take naps. I get it.
Just rub it in, man. Okay, ready?
Throw it to me first. I'll get it.
Okay, middleweight division. Rodolfo Vieira defeats Cody Brundage by submission via arm triangle choke in the second round. Mark, take first.
I don't know where Cody Brundage got that explosive striking game from, but he was showing it off early. But props to Vieira for surviving because he was in some trouble. And then round 2, Cody jumps guillotine. It's Rodolfo Vieira. You can't jump guillotine against Rodolfo Vieira. I mean, it took him about 30 seconds of being on the ground to get on top and then strangle Cody Brundage. So not the greatest decision, but a really powerful arm triangle from Vieira and nicely done by him.
Omar.
Cody's going to be kicking himself for a minute because he was winning that fight. I mean, he knocked the shit out of Vieira with one of those punches in that first round, man. It opened him up, put him on the floor. I mean, I think he was feeling himself a little too much. I think he thought he could do whatever he wanted with Vieira by the time we got to round 2, and he got reminded that he cannot. So hopefully that's a learning moment for him, and he doesn't make such reckless decisions going forward because that fight was his.
Okay, featherweights. The UFC newcomer Fernando Padilla defeated Juicy Julian Erosa by TKO in the very first round. My man Erosa. God damn, I felt so bad. Omar, go first.
So here's the problem I have with this, and I might go off a little bit, okay? Because Mark already fucking knows.
Lightning round.
Maybe I'll smite somebody with some lightning. This was the most ridiculous stoppage I've seen in quite some time.
Really?
I think Mark and I were
that bad.
It was horrible, Mike.
Oh, I'm not on that page. I'm not.
No, this dude wasn't even on the floor. Mark, you were just talking about how you wanted somebody to like fucking borderline die the other day, that he wasn't out all the way, that he got right back up.
He was more with it than Erosa was.
No, lies and deception. Okay. Juicy J was up. He was up. He didn't even go down. He dropped a little bit. He was still under his feet. He got up and he was still walking around. That was the worst fucking decision to stop a fight I have seen in quite some time.
It wasn't good. Don't get me wrong.
It was terrible. It was awful. It was the fucking worst. It was clear as day that man was not out. I thought it was crazy early. He didn't even hit the floor. His ass never hit the floor. He was never limp. He went down and came right back up.
He was pretty rocked, dude. He was
pretty. I didn't say he was rocked. 100%. He was getting fucked up. I mean, he got tagged with like 8 fucking punches straight, and the last one that he got hit was a monster punch. But he got like his like body went down and he came back up. He never hit the floor. He was never fucking completely out or anything like that. I thought it was terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Okay.
Terrible.
Mark. Do you want to talk about anything else or just okay, Mark, go.
It wasn't great. He got caught really bad twice. I get it. He's probably not happy. As you said, he was still up. He was moving around. But, man, he got caught with 2 bad ones, and they both looked like they turned him off for, like, one Mississippi.
Yes.
And when a ref sees you turn off a second time, I get why he jumps in with the quick trigger. I get it. I didn't love it. I get it. To give Padilla some props, he did look like he had really accurate, clean punches with some length behind them.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll be intriguing to watch. He did look like he was pretty skinny, so we'll see how it goes once he's in there with a grappler. That could be interesting, but a big-time debut.
Big-time debut. All right.
I will add that the length of Padilla really fucked with Arosa. I don't think Arosa's ever had to fight somebody who's basically his size.
Right. The great
And he
point.
couldn't bully him around. He couldn't use his length. He looked really uncomfortable in there. And Padilla was just letting him go, man. Padilla was ready to throw down no matter what. It was rough. I mean, it was rough for Arosa. Don't get me wrong. The finish aside, Arosa was getting lit up. I mean, he was full Christmas tree in that fight.
Yes. And to be fair to you, to your point, it was one of those kind of moments in a fight where guys getting rocked, but he's like the moment the ref like committed to stepping in is when Erosa was kind of coming to, and he was like, "No!" And he immediately protested. So
I feel like this is where we need Herb Dean, where we have these controversial. Did Herb Dean actually step in or not? This is what we needed. I needed Herb Dean to look like he was going to step in, but then actually didn't when he saw Rosa was still standing up. You know what I mean? He looks like he's about to wave it off, and then he's like, no, never mind. And he backs off, and he lets him keep fighting. That's what I needed. Instead, I got fucking Chris Tognoni talking about this is the end of the fight. Fucking Chris.
Yeah, man. Okay, let's move on. Lightning. Heavyweight division. Marcos Rogerio de Lima defeats Waldo Cortez Acosta by unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Mark, go first. Actually, Mark, keep chewing. Omar, go first.
I started eating a protein bar. I'm so fucking hungry. Okay. I realized I had a bar in my desk.
Whoops.
R.I.P. the leg of Cortez Acosta. I mean, I think he spent 3 rounds getting smashed in the leg. Rogerio de Lima had to weather some attacks, but the reality is just I think it really kicked off in the 3rd round once I think Cortez Acosta really knew that he was down. He was losing that fight. He was, compromised for sure. Good poker face, though. I mean, there were times where he was getting hit where you could see it on his face, but he was still using that front leg. I feel like most people would have been gingerly using that front leg, but he was putting weight on it. But it didn't really matter, man. De Lima tore him up for majority of that fight. Like I said, I think the 3rd round, if I remember it right, was probably the most sketchy round for Rogerio de Lima. But the damage was done. It was a good showing for Marcos Rogerio de Lima.
Mark.
Yeah, he came out and just started ripping up that left calf from jump, and it put Cortez Acosta on the defensive. It opened up takedowns, and we know de Lima's heavy on top. He was racking up some points there, and just didn't really get any better as the fight went on. He kind of started looking for like the perfect big shot because he was trying to end the fight because he didn't want to keep getting his calf ripped up, so he wasn't really throwing in combos. He wasn't fighting the way he normally fights, and it just let de Lima do more of the same. And then in round 3, I kind of thought Cortez Acosta was going to go for it, knowing he needed to finish, and he still didn't really. He did a little better, but he didn't really push it. So I don't know. I wasn't in love with his performance, but a good win for de Lima.
Okay, welterweights and the opening bout of the main card for this UFC Fight Night. Trey Waters defeated Joshua Quinlan by unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. Mark, sticking with you. Take it first.
Josh Quinlan is a man who is known for throwing bombs, and it was completely irrelevant because he couldn't even enter the range of Trey Waters without being clipped. And Waters was just standing there looking intimidating as fuck, like a big, long dude, hands down, almost like sticking his face out, daring Quinlan to step into his range. And every time he did, he just got popped. I mean, it was jabs in his face all night, counters all night when Quinlan came in. Really impressive, short notice, like a week notice, if I remember right, debut for Waters against a dangerous dude in Quinlan.
Omar.
Yeah, dude, Quinlan's a dog, man. Quinlan ate a ton of shots in that fight. I think the one criticism I have of Trey Waters' game, and maybe it was a specific plan for Quinlan, but considering the time frame, I doubt it. I'm pretty sure this might be the way that he fights. But waiting for that counter shot and not really trying to make those in-between moments, forcing those in-between moments, I think is not going to work out for him once we start getting into the higher echelon of the welterweight division. Guys are not going to, especially the higher guys in the weight class are not going to play his game. And he does a lot of waiting. He misses quite a bit of those counter shots, but the ones that he lands, man, are nasty, and they land right on the button, and they have weight behind them, and it messed Quinlan up quite a bit. So hopefully there's some evolution to Trey Waters' game, but the foundation that he has right now is definitely one that I want to keep watching.
Okay, the featured bout on the prelims for this UFC Fight Night. In the heavyweight division, Martin Buday defeats Jake Collier by unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Omar, take it first.
Yeah, dude, this was a good fight. These guys are not the most technical guys, and there was a lot of brawling and a lot of that big man swinging. Martin Buday at the end of the day got the best of Jake Collier. I can't remember what round Jake Collier won. I don't really remember him winning any rounds personally. Did he win the first round?
Yeah. I mean, I thought so.
So did the judges.
But by the end of the fight, you just knew Martin Buday won. I think everybody was kind of on the same page, Jake Collier included. So it was a good win for Martin Buday.
Okay, Mark.
Yeah, I thought Collier came out strong. He pushed the pace in round one, and I thought he was able to take that round. But Buday, I forget how you even say it, he adjusted, landed some nice knees in round two, definitely took that round. And then it was all there to play for in round three, and the fight kind of reset after that eye poke. It was still wide open, and Collier just kind of slips. He goes in for a takedown that gets sort of stuffed, and Collier loses balance, and Buday's on top, and that was all he needed, and he just rides it out, locks up the W.
Okay, flyweights. Cody Durden defeats Charles Johnson by unanimous decision, 30-27, all three judges. Mark, go.
Cody Durden's got to start getting some credit, man. He is a relentless, sticky grappler, and he's generally at a disadvantage on the feet, but he's just one of these wrestlers who is so naturally a dog that he can deal with it, like almost Clay Guida-esque, like the way that he used to succeed. And as slick as Johnson was looking at times, it didn't matter because he couldn't keep Durden off him, and both guys were tired of shit by the end of this. It was really grappling heavy, but the wrestling was just too much, so a nice win for Durden.
Omar.
Honestly, man, the cardio from Charles Johnson was pretty damn impressive, especially considering how much he had to work to try to stay off the ground. When it didn't work, he was still getting controlled from the ground. Cody Durden was putting in a lot of effort, and I wasn't necessarily surprised to see how tired he was by the end of the fight. But Charles Johnson did not look as tired as I thought he should, considering all the shit that he went through for 3 rounds. When he got back up and he got back on his feet, the man was like on his bike, and there was like no moment where he was like, fuck, let me take like a deep breath and like take a minute. No, he got back up and he just kept going forward. Cody Durden had to work, man. He had to work to keep getting him back down on the ground and to keep Charles Johnson from doing shit. I didn't know Cody Durden was an All-American wrestler, but I mean, it shows.
Okay, moving on. At a catch weight of 140 pounds, Irina Oleksiejczuk defeats Stephanie Egger by submission via knee bar. The official time 2:11 of round number 1. Omar, what's up?
Yeah, this fight left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth, if we're being completely honest. From a performance standpoint, it was a great performance. It didn't last very long. Irina is a very aggressive fighter. She definitely moved forward, was definitely trying to scrap, was not trying to shy away from any kind of fight, and becomes a fighter now. I think it's like the 4th knee bar in women's UFC history that she was able to complete. They're calling her the Russian Ronda?
Yeah, Russian Ronda.
I hate that nickname.
She said it was because people used to think she looked like her when she had long hair, that it's not anything about her game.
Still hate it. But the thing that really, I think, annoyed the shit out of me was, I think, her celebration and
I was going to say the same.
It's, and I'm not one for people not celebrating, but she missed weight by like 4 pounds. Like, how are you in there talking this much wild shit, doing the Billy walk and all kinds of stuff in there. Like, this woman is not giving away 30% of her person. Like, she didn't walk in there heavy as balls compared to her opponent. I thought a little bit of humility, considering the circumstances, might have been warranted, but I don't know. She went full asshole on there, so I didn't care for that.
Mark.
You were taking that a different route than me. I was just going to make fun of her for doing every celebration there is in the corniest way possible in like a 20-second span. Like, it was like she was like, what can I do next? What can I do next? Like, she was just running through a list of them. So, yeah, that was awkward, but a nice debut win for her. She, not a lot to break down here. The knee bar happened pretty early, but it was a beautiful roll. She was so deep on the leg immediately, and Egger tapped early. She knew she was stuck. So, good win. Obviously missed the weight. You would hope she'll get it in order for the next fight, but good win.
Yeah. Okay, at a catchweight also at 140 pounds on the men's side, Marcus McGee defeats Journey Newsom by submission via rear naked choke in the second round. Mark, sticking with you, go.
I loved McGee's pressure. I was really impressed that he was able to pressure with his striking that way, even against a guy who he knew wanted the takedown. But he looked really, really comfortable in there for a short notice UFC debut. And I've honestly never been too sold on Newsom, and he was continually getting caught by straight lefts in this fight. It was another one that dropped him in the end. So not sure how much longer he's got in the UFC, but McGee looked really good. He snatched up that choke real quick to finish it, and a fun debut for him.
Omar.
Yeah, I definitely thought McGee was the older man of the two, but he is not.
He's got one of those faces.
He does. He does indeed.
Do you know what's funny? Tell me if you agree with this. I heard them say, so initially I was thinking, wow, he has an old face, because I saw his age, and I was like, wow, he looks older. Then I heard them say he used to be a pro skateboarder, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. And then in my head, I was like, why am I thinking that? But I often feel like skateboarders look older than they should. Do you feel like that?
And I actually feel the opposite. I feel like
Really?
these skateboarders look fucking younger. They'll
I
be
feel
like
they
40
have
years
old faces often. Like, I don't know if
No.
it's something about falling a lot.
I feel like Tony Hawk finally has an old face, but he like took forever to fucking age that man.
Yeah, maybe I'm off. I don't know.
Not like this, bro. This is, I mean, I don't want to be a dick, but this is hardcore right here. 32, this is hardcore.
Yeah.
Especially considering Journey Newsom is fucking 34. The man has a baby face.
Yeah.
It's real crazy. Anyway, back to the fight. Fantastic performance from McGee, especially on short notice. What was this, like 5 days, 3 days? Something ridiculous.
Something like that, yeah.
Brian Boom Kelleher was the one who was supposed to step in for this fight. We actually don't really know what happened to Boom Kelleher. There's not really been any specifics on exactly what happened, why they pulled him, and where he's at going forward. But it does seem like he's going to be taking a hiatus to figure out whatever medical issue is plaguing him. So hopefully, hopefully Boom Kelleher is good.
We have one more, guys. Let's finish strong here. Catchweight of 137.5. Jamie Lynn Horth defeats Haley Cohen by UD. Mark, why don't you step in and talk?
Horth came out and looked good early, worked the kick game, kind of nullified Cowan in round one. But Cowan didn't stop coming. And in round two, she changed the fight. She got the grappling going a bit. She was tough in there. And round three was close. I wouldn't have really hated it going either way. I didn't rewatch it. But live, I was like, oh, shit, this could go to either girl here. Cowan was kind of pushing it more, kind of had the clinches, the takedowns, but Horth was probably landing the more significant shots. So tough one to call, but Horth gets it done.
Omar, take us home.
Yeah, the one thing I'll add is this is one of those fights where I think by the third round, they both knew that they had one apiece. I don't think there was any question. And they went out there and both of them tried to win that third round as hard as they could. And you got to love shit like that. I really love the sense of urgency, especially when it comes from both sides. I had it for Horth for the third round, but just like Mark, if you told me that you had Cowan winning that fight, I wasn't going to argue with you.
All right, boys, we did it. That does it for UFC Fight Night, Song versus Simone.